Welcome back everyone to the Zenith Death Mode playthrough. Last time, the spirits of light and dark were released into our world as we entered Hardmode. We then obviously went mining for some Hardmode ores, you know, what else is there to do? Calamity, however, slightly changes how the Hardmode ores work, since you can now only find cobalt and palladium if you haven't defeated any mechanical bosses. There was one thing about this that was going to be a huge problem in the future, which I wasn't yet aware of. And that's how the mechanical bosses function in Zenith. But we'll get to that later. And before we go kill any bosses, I need to quickly build some housing for some NPCs. And you already know where NPCs be living good, bro. I mean, how could I make them live in a wooden box? Well, that doesn't count, you know. They're happy there. Wait, what do you mean slavery? What? No! In the last episode, we defeated Slime God, which dropped us the summoning item for Queen Slime, so I guess we're gonna take her down next. I normally wouldn't even bother taking down Queen Slime since she really doesn't drop anything useful, but you know, I guess why not. And since we're playing on the Zenith seed, it's really not an option to fight her on the surface. So I had to create a custom Hallow biome in the underworld. And I know I bought a lot of Hallowed seeds, but I ended up using Pearlstone blocks anyway, since they were way easier to get. Okay, I wasn't supposed to do that. Misinput, bro. Misinput, calm down! You calm! I then quickly got my ass whooped since I didn't have any buffs, and I barely know the Queen Slime's moveset, since who normally fights this thing? While do another challenge, we're going to be attempting to take down each boss. I then bought some basic arena buffs, and prepared myself for Queen Slime. I then drank my buffs, and let the fight begin. The fight started off quick, with Queen Slime dashing rapidly towards me. And as she closed the distance, she spawned crystal slimes, which managed to take me out. I was however not planning on getting stuck on Queen Slime of all bosses, so I headed back to the arena and started the fight again. The main issue that I had with this fight is that it's very difficult to focus on what the boss is doing when you have to constantly watch out for the crystal slimes that the boss spawns. Still unable to get the hang of the boss fight, I got my ass whooped once again. No way I'm losing the Queen Slime. I mean, I know it's a legendary mode, death mode, but still, it's Queen Slime. My hot take is that Queen Slime is actually a pretty tough boss, and a good boss.
Are you sure?
She's pretty fun to fight, especially after you figure out her moveset. In my opinion, it has a nice rhythm to it, which I really liked. She was, however, causing me a little mental anguish. And then I realized that I don't even have wings. What am I doing? I then grinded myself a set of pixie wings, since, in my opinion, they are the best early game wing option in Calamity. So after crafting myself a pair of super manly looking pixie wings, I was ready to take on Queen Slime once again. And I wasn't even able to get her down to half health. I then realized that I might actually have to completely learn her moveset if I want to have a chance at defeating her. This was going to take a long time, since I usually completely skip Queen Slime. I also thought that it might be a good idea to farm the Shadow Flame knife from the Hardmode Goblin army, since the Shadow Flame debuff that it applies could be useful against Queen Slime. No matter how many times I tried, the Goblin Warlocks just refused to drop the Shadow Flame knife. So I'm not sure if I'm unlucky or if it has the rarest drop chance, but I killed 5 Goblin armies without seeing a single Shadow Flame dagger. So I then decided to give up, since the Shadow Flame knife was not worth the effort. Hey, editing work stuff here. I'm actually sick right now, so if my voice sounds a little rasp, don't worry about it. I was tired of getting my ass kicked by the Queen Slime, so I thought that now would be a good time to take a break and make an arena for Cryogen, who's our next boss. I was already getting mentally frustrated by the constant boss fights, so blowing stuff up is always just a nice break. You know, who doesn't love blowing stuff up? With the arena ready and my mind at ease, it was time to get back to slaying bosses. And with my buffs ready, I summoned the Queen of Slimes. The Queen of Slimes is it's a really weird boss in my opinion, since I often just skip her, since you don't really get anything useful from killing her, and her moveset is just really unpredictable even. There's a nice rhythm to it, as I said earlier, but it's still really unpredictable. Compared to pre-Hardmode bosses, there's a lot more projectiles that I'm not used to. I then got the slime second phase with my adrenaline almost ready. I then dished out massive damage to the slime with my light disc, leaving her at 17,000 HP. This was the furthest that I had gotten in the fight, but now the slime's moveset was getting really aggressive and she was shooting her crystal balls more often than before. And even though she was almost dead, so was I. And this time, I ended up choking the win. Classic Quark stuff. I eventually then had another good attempt getting the boss down to her last 5000 HP. And I can't think of any cool words to say here, so fuck out of here, bitch. And defeating her gave me the bottomless shimmer bucket. And this item would single-handedly save the run. But now it's time for our next boss, which is Cryogen? Why is the key red? It's supposed to be blue. And as I was collecting the materials for the boss summon, I got jumped by our good old friend, the Perforators, which these guys just make my game lag like hell. After dying to our Hardmode boss, I then managed to finally collect enough materials for the Cryo key. I then bought all the necessary arena buffs from this lovely NPC, made my way up to the arena, and with all my buffs ready, summoned the block of ice. Oh, okay, so he's red. It's not just the key. And what does that mean? Pretty much nothing. Nothing about the fight is really different from what I could tell, but he has a lot of HP. 100,000 HP is a lot of damage that you need to deal in one boss fight, especially with the restrictions that Calamity places on us, making us not able to mine titanium or, for example, mithril. But with my trusty light disc, which I got all the way back when we killed Eater of Worlds, I kept chipping away at the Ice Cube's health, getting him down to half health, which is when Pyrogen started derping out. I don't know what that means, but the derping out Cryogen killed me. Not very cool, Pyrogen. And our next attempt wasn't much better, since this time we died before we even got Pyrogen down to half health. Oh! I was just full HP. That's cool. I didn't want to live anyway. Let me try the Goblin Army one more time. I really want to see if the Shadow Flame Knife is any good. Surely there's no way that we don't get it on our 6th Goblin Army. Right?
Nope.
Right?
Nope.
Fuck you, Terraria. Suck my light disc. Yeah, do that please. I don't need a stupid goblin weapon anyway. My mom said you shouldn't touch goblins since they're dirty. Oh yeah, Cryogen. My bad, guys. Pyrogen. The thing about this fight is that I have quite a big arena, so I have a lot of space to move around in, so his projectiles don't really bother me that much. It's only up until halfway of the fight when he starts getting fast enough that I have to actually lock in, or he will combo me brutally, as you saw what happened on the previous attempt. When you've dealt enough damage to Cryogen, he builds this like shield of spikes around him, which you have to take down in order to keep dealing damage to Cryogen. I'm sorry, Pyrogen. Other than that, he sometimes shoots these red glowing balls that explode in a few seconds. That attack and his dashes were mostly the only attacks causing me any trouble until halfway of the fight when he starts spamming them. But with the boss's HP down to 15,000, it was my time to lock in and finish this once and for all. With my buffs running out and my hands getting shakier, I was starting to lose my rhythm and got caught in his infamous red ball attack. We however pulled through, and after many tedious attempts, Pyrogen has finally fallen. And as usual, we were rewarded with a strange item. If I'm not wrong, you get this after killing Ravager, which is a end of Hardmode boss. And let me tell you, this accessory is nuts. Wait, no way. Dude, are you for real? Get this? That's insane! And before we call it quits for the day, I thought I'd show you why I'm having so much trouble getting further in Hardmode. At the point of the game that we're in, we basically have two options. Take down our first mech boss, or go for Aquatic Scourge. The issues that I have with these two is that the Aquatic Scourge just for some reason keeps reapplying his Sulfurous Seas debuff, meaning that he's gonna kill me even if he doesn't hit me directly even once. And I'm also unable to make any other type of progress, since all of the upgrades that we have available to us right now require Hardmode ores, which I could normally mine after defeating a mech boss. But in the Zenith scene, you have to kill the Mech-Tusa, meaning I have to kill every mech boss at once, which the Mech-Tusa is a pretty tough challenge. So tough in fact, with my current gear, I stand absolutely zero chance. But yeah, that's it for today guys. Today's episode is a bit short since I'm pretty sick still, and even though it's been quite a long time since I posted the last part, but I really want to take my time with these videos and make sure that they're not rushed. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, so see you all in the next one. Peace.